Take a stand, make a scene, it's reading time with the queens. I know you've been hoping for reading time with the queens. The library's open for reading time with the queens. There's lots to know about the world today, so open a book, let's make our way. There's crafts to be making at reading time with the queens. There's songs to be singing at reading time with the queens. Today we'll learn that we each are a star. We'll spread kindness wherever we are. It's so much fun, but it's not a dream. It's reading time with the queens. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Reading Time with the Queens. It's me, Miss Cali, and I am your Grand Duchess of Trash. I'm so excited to see you here today. We're going to learn all about recycling and trash because we love trash here on the We Love Trash set. See, we've got lots of trash going around here. Got my trusty trash can. Absolutely nothing in there, I'm sure. Yes, on November 15th was National Recycling Day, and we're a little bit late. But that's okay, because it's always a good time to learn about recycling and turning old things into new things. So first thing we're gonna do is some signs. I have Mr. Aaron, Mr. 𝐬𝐢𝐠𝐧 somewhere around here, and they're gonna be teaching you some signs that we can use about trash, recycling, and things like that. But before we do any of that, I just have to have a moment where I show you this beautiful dress.
Wow, that's a really creative dress that Miss Cali made. That's great. Speaking of creative, I was supposed to be here with Mr. 𝐬𝐢𝐠𝐧 to show you some signs today, but Mr. 𝐬𝐢𝐠𝐧 said something about making art out of trash or something like that. So he's not here. I think he's here. Hang on a second. Ah, I was right. He's here. Hi, Mr. 𝐬𝐢𝐠𝐧. You're supposed to teach us science. Let me help him out. Hang on. Okay, we're gonna do this. Yes, I know. Ready, set. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay. Whoa. Whew. Oh. It was tight. Yeah. Oh my gosh. What were you doing down? You were hunting for more things to make art with. That explains the paintbrushes in your hair.
Oh.
Or your head. Hat, whatever. You forgot a flashlight. It's very important. Yes, grab a flashlight if you're ever looking for art in the trash, I guess.
Oh.
Okay. Well, anyway, we should probably show them some signs so they can kind of use them throughout the rest of the reading time today. Okay. So what are we going to learn today? You seem to be all kinds of creative, so one of the important words to know is trash or garbage. Okay. All right. Garbage. Trash. So same thing. So it's your arm basically, and then it's like a bag. So you kind of hold it down. It's a bag. Trash bag. Okay. Garbage or trash. There we go. Okay. What's another one? Oh yeah, the green outline things on some of these. Yeah. Recycle. Okay, so you have your hand out and then you have an R, recycle. So you do it in a circle, just like recycling. There we go. There may be other signs that others use, but I don't know those. Okay, all right. So there may be other signs we can kind of keep an eye out for. Okay, cool. So we have trash, we have recycle. Oh, music. Yes, music. I love music. Sorry, you can't see my arm. Yeah. Yeah, you're signing out of a trash can. I think they understand. It's okay. So music. Okay, nice. You like musical... Oh, instruments. What instruments can you sign? Musical? Okay, so musical instruments. Okay. So can you show us some musical instrument signs? If I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Oh, Oh, yeah. Yeah, 𝐸𝐸𝐠𝐧 violin. So violin. So you're holding a violin and you're using the bow. To kind of actually like you're playing it. So we could sign like piano. Okay, piano. What's another one? Drums. Absolutely, drums. Okay. Do you have any? Guitar. That's another one. That's another one. Miss Cali plays the small guitar, the ukulele. Yeah, just play a little ukulele. So you can all play along with Miss Cali. That's fun. Well, of course, a regular size one as well. Big guitar. No. Small little guitar. Big guitar. Big huge guitar. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Thank you so much. I'm sorry to interrupt you from your art and everything, but I don't have a flashlight. Yes, I've got a flashlight on my phone. Yep. Nope. There we go. Okay. Yep. Okay. All right. Bye. Mr. Zay's gonna go bye. Bye, guys. Yep. There we go. Wait a minute. He took my phone.
Hi everyone, my name's Mr. Rowan. Today I'll be reading a story called 𝐸𝐸𝐠𝐧 Violin, the story of the recycled orchestra of Paraguay, by Susan Hood, illustrated by Sally Wern Comport. Ada Rios grew up in a town made of trash. Here you can see there's a couple dogs, some chickens, but there's a lot of trash everywhere. That's a lot of trash for a street. Every morning at dawn, Ada heard the first garbage trucks rumble and roll down the road to 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻. Beep, 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 backing into the landfill. They tipped their loads up and crash! The trash came tumbling down. 1,500 tons each day. That's 30,000 pounds of trash every single day. Ada and her friends watched as the gancheros, or recyclers, scrambled, tearing into plastic bags with long-handled hooks, pushing aside moldy produce and grabbing anything they could recycle or sell. The going rates? 5 cents for a pound of cardboard, 10 cents for a pound of plastic. Here you can see how small the kids are compared to all that trash. This noisy, stinking, sweltering slum was not the most nurturing neighborhood. Ada watched, eyes wide, but she didn't say much. And yet she liked to imagine each garbage truck was a box of surprises. One never knew what might be inside. Her father had found appliances, toys, perfumes, and antique watches. One woman even discovered a small box full of gold jewelry. Little did Ada know, there was a bigger surprise waiting for her in the landfill. Every day when Ada's parents went to work, Grandmother Miriam cared for Ada and her little sister, 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻. Grandma loved to sing rock and roll songs from the 1960s. The girls grew up to the tunes of the Beatles, Simon and Garfunkel, and Creedence Clearwater Revival. Ada loved to sing too, but only when no one was listening. Ada's dad brightened the night with stories and songs of great musicians. He turned up the radio and pointed out the sounds each instrument made. Ada heard one above all others. Zing went the strings of the violin. When the girls started school, Grandma returned to work as a recycler, collecting bottles and cans in the city. Classes let out at noon. Young Ada was in charge of 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐻𝐻 until her parents were done with work. At first, the girls stayed close to home, playing with Grandma Miriam's doggies and making sand cakes in the dirt. Soon, they joined their cousins, playing hide-and-seek or a game of handball in the streets. In time, they ventured farther afield, walking down to the bodega to get candy. But Ada noticed the teenagers hanging out in the alleys, grumbling about life in the landfill looming ahead. What would happen to them? To her? To her little sister? She watched as the older kids turned to gangs and got into fights. One day when Ada was 11 years old, her grandmother saw a sign posted on the wall of a chapel. Violin, guitar, cello, taught Saturdays at 8 a.m. Fabio Chavez. How Grandma had longed to learn music. Too late for her, maybe, she thought, but not for her granddaughters. She signed them up without asking them. Or their parents. Ada's heart sang out. Thanks to her abuela, she could leave her worries behind and learn to play. At the first class, the teacher, Fabio Chavez, had 3 guitars and 2 violins to share. Ada chose a violin right away, but 10 children had signed up. Frustrated, Ada and her friends found that there were not enough instruments to go around. See, there's a whole big group of kids. Very few instruments, though. And there was a bigger problem. Everyone quickly realized the children would need to practice at home, but it wasn't safe to be seen with an expensive instrument in 𝐿𝐻𝐻, where a violin is worth more than a house. Watching the children play amid broken glass and rusty metal, Senor Chavez knew he had to do something. He remembered a band called 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐻 that made its own instruments. That was it. He asked 𝐿𝐻𝐿𝐻𝐵, a ganchero and carpenter, for help. Senor Gomez found a discarded drum with a big hole in it. What could he use to fix it? He picked through the trash and discovered an old X-ray film. Would that work? So he's trying to build a drum. That's the inside of someone. That's an X-ray. I wonder what that would sound like. It did work. Senor Gomez kept experimenting, and others, like Tito Romero, helped. Inventing instruments wasn't easy, but they fiddled around, discovering which materials hit just the right notes. They transformed oil drums into cellos, water pipes into flutes, and packing crates into guitars. Soon there were enough instruments for all the children who wanted to play. Ada chose a violin made from an old paint can, an aluminum baking tray, a fork, and pieces of wooden crates. Worthless to thieves, it was invaluable to her. It was a violin of her very own. Here you can see a bunch of the other instruments made of trash. There's some guitars, I think a clarinet, and then Ada and her violin. At first, Ada and, Senor Chavez set up a strict schedule of 3-hour lessons. The class had no classroom, so they played outside, despite the 100-degree heat and sudden downpours. At first, Ada and the others struggled. Sharps and flats changed and clashed. Playing an instrument is a process. It doesn't matter if one is rich or poor, ugly, fat, thin. You cannot learn to play an instrument overnight, Senor Chavez told the children. Some kids decided it was too much work and gave up, but not Ada. After lessons, she would practice at home, sometimes 2 hours a day. In time, the screeches, twangs, and tweets hit all the right notes. Their class became a small island, where Chavez taught them to respect themselves and one another. Be kind, always say please and thank you, say you're sorry, be dedicated when you commit to something, Senor Chavez told the children. Soon, the ragtag crew of kids learned to tune in, to listen to one another, and to band together. The recycled orchestra was born. From then on, there was something new in the air in 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐻. Gancheros trudging home from the landfill might lift their heads to hear the sounds of Ada's violin, or the strains of baby's cello, or the strum of 𝐿𝐻𝐻𝐻's guitar. A symphony of sound helped to lift them beyond the heat, the stench, and their aching backs. See, here they go, walking along, and there's the recycled orchestra. With her violin, Ada could close her eyes and imagine a different life. She could soar on the high, bright, bittersweet notes to a place far away. She could be who she was meant to be. As Ada's skill grew, so did her confidence. Once timid, she now took center stage playing solos. She helped teach the younger children too. Her teachers and fellow students took note. When she was 12 years old, Ada was named first violinist. Imagine, she was first at something. Shortly after, she and her 39 fellow musicians were invited to perform concerts in 𝐿𝐻𝐻 and later in the nearby capital city of Asunción. Word of this extraordinary orchestra spread. Soon, they were asked to perform in other cities and even other countries. Ada and her friends flew on their first airplane, stayed in their first hotel, swam in the bright blue waters of Rio de Janeiro, sampled their first pastries and pineapple, and saw sights they never imagined. The world dazzled them, just as they dazzled the world. See here, there's the Hollywood sign. That's in California, here in the United States. There's a Buddha from India. Here's a statue of Jesus in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. There's some pastries. And a plane. You have to get there somehow. When Ada was 16, the orchestra received a very special invitation. They were asked to tour with a world-famous rock band. More than 35,000 people awaited them at their first concert stop in Bogota, Colombia. Ada was more than nervous. She didn't know how to enter or how to greet the audience. She went blank. She saw a giant stage with glaring lights and heard people screaming. But she didn't have to worry. As the recycled orchestra took the stage, the people who had paid to see the rock band cheered for them. The enormous audience sang and swayed to the music as the orchestra played, and as their performance came to a close, a crescendo of cheers, chants, and applause resounded across the park. The astonished kids bowed, grinning at one another. They had discovered the surprise waiting in the landfill. Buried in the trash was music. And buried in themselves was something to be proud of. And that was the story of Ada's violin and the recycled orchestra of Paraguay.
Mr. Rowan!
Miss
Hi!
Cali.
How are you today?
I am quite well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm really glad that you were able to share that story with us.
Thank you for inviting me. It was really wonderful to get to read that for everyone.
Yes, especially in this beautiful trash heap of ours.
I love it. Did you make that dress yourself?
I did make the dress myself. Yes, I made it out of some plastic bags. So it's a good time. It's a wonderful time. Recycling some things, yeah. Ada's violin, it was a really good story. What was your favorite part?
I really liked Ada's violin because I used to play the viola, which is like a violin, but it's lower in pitch.
Oh.
So it felt very personal to me, and it was really exciting to get to hear about other people all across the world making their own music and deciding that there were no limitations and that you could make your own instruments even out of trash.
Yes, absolutely. That was my favorite part, actually, is being able to see, just go into the trash heap and making something as beautiful as a violin and making music. That's the most beautiful treasure I think there is. Speaking of which, I was wondering, I have this thing here. Speaking of making musical instruments out of trash, Miss Barb taught me how to make this kazoo out of a toilet paper roll and some wax paper.
You made that out of trash?
Trash!
It's
absolutely.
Beautiful.
I know, we'll put some little baubles on it. I was wondering if you would be interested in, playing some music with me.
Miss Cali, I thought you'd never ask.
There you go. Well, we're gonna be singing the song "I Love Trash." Do you know it?
By Oscar the Grouch?
The one and only, yes.
Of course I know it. Hit it.
Let's sing this song together, okay? Here we go. Oh, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty. Anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash. I have here a sneaker, it's tattered and worn. It's all full of holes and the laces are torn. A gift from my mother the day I was born. I love it because it's trash. Yes, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty. Anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash. I have here some newspaper, 13 months old. I wrap fish inside it, it's smelly and cold. But I wouldn't trade it for a big pot of gold. I love it because it's trash. Yes, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty. Anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash. I've a clock that won't work in an old telephone, a broken umbrella and a rusty trombone, and I am delighted to call them my own. I love them because they're trash. Yes, I love trash. Anything dirty or dingy or dusty, anything ragged or rotten or rusty. Yes, I love trash. Woo!
That was beautiful, Miss Cali.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love your kazoo playing.
Thank you for letting me play this wonderful trash kazoo.
Well, it's a good little instrument, and but this is what I think we should do. I think that we should go right over to Miss Barb and have her teach us how to make a couple, or one, or few.
Oh, I'll make 1,000. Let's go.
Hello, everybody. We're over here in Craft Corner with Miss Barb. How are you, Miss Barb?
I was gonna say hello to them first.
Oh.
Hi, everyone. Hello, Miss Cali. I'm good.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Well, I'm glad you have your priorities straight and are greeting people in the appropriate order.
Our audience is very important to
I
us.
agree. Thank you so much for watching. If you've gotten a craft kit at 𝐬𝐢𝐠𝐧 the library, or just found all the ingredients, tools, supplies. On our social media, then you will be ready to make this kazoo, which you saw Mr. Rowan playing just a little bit ago. You know, like this. So we're gonna show you how to make that right now.
Out of recycled material.
Yes, it's gonna be very fun. So what do we do?
What do we do?
Well, what do we need first, I suppose?
Oh, yes. Well, of course, you need the
I'm gonna show you on this camera. Ooh.
toilet paper roll.
Toilet paper roll, very important.
You need some construction paper.
Okay.
Lots of different colors, whatever you like. You need some glue.
Okay, we got a little glue bottle here.
And let's see, we need some decoration, so the sequins,
cool.
Stickers, sequins.
Yeah, we got some little buttons, some little
just
stickers
some
here.
little pretty baubles.
Some sequence.
So for the part down here, that's wax paper. So you need a roll of wax paper.
Boom.
That we're gonna eventually cut into a circle, and to do that we just got an empty plastic container. You just want to make sure that it's, here we'll put the toilet paper roll, that it's bigger
The circumference
bigger than the toilet paper roll,
of course.
by a good amount,
Right.
so it has plenty of room to fold over on all the sides. Did we get everything?
Oh, scissors.
Oh,
We got
scissors for our
here.
paper.
You
Yep.
know, paper cutter if you want one. These are pretty nifty.
And then, also we sanitized the toilet roll before we used it, just with a wipe.
Well, did we? I forgot to do that. So let's do it now. So if you're using a toilet paper roll at home, make sure that you're wiping it off first.
Sometimes there's little twids of paper left on. Just do this, and they'll kind of melt right off.
That is the case, and plus it's very important to be sanitary, especially since this did come from the bathroom. So
Yes, it did.
just let that dry, and we should be good to go.
For now, and then we'll pick it up and put it in the trash properly.
Okay. Well, what's the first step?
The first step is, well, we want to get our paper for the roll.
Okay.
So construction paper, you want to get the toilet roll right up to the edge of your paper. You know what, I don't need this whole sheet. So let me just cut this in half first. And put one end exactly to the edge of the toilet paper roll. The other end, we're just gonna kind of, I'm actually just gonna use the scissor
Okay.
and make a little cut.
So just measuring how long of the paper that you
Right.
need to
And
make
so
it.
from that cut line, we'll cut that part off, and let's see if I can cut sort of a straight line. This is why I like to use the paper cutter.
Yeah. But it's okay. It looks the aesthetic we're going for is homemade, so if it's not perfectly aligned, yes,
So
it'll be okay.
let's make sure that we did kind of okay here.
Okay.
Yeah, we're pretty good. We're pretty good. Okay, so we want to start with this part so the glue can dry just a bit. So we are going to take our glue.
Okay.
I'm going to make just a good little line, not too thick, but not too thin. And
Just line the paper up.
get one of the papers on there and just kind of squiggle it around and get it centered. All right. Okay, and from there we'll just put a little bit of glue here and there,
Okay.
and we'll roll and hold as we go.
Very nice.
And
It's giving a very nice uniform color to the toilet paper roll.
okay, now it's gonna be too long, so once you kind of get the whole roll covered, go ahead and just cut off this tail.
Okay.
I can get the scissors picked up.
So once you know how long it needs to be, you don't have to use the whole length. You can just cut off the excess.
Then I'm gonna put a little more glue closer to the edge so it will hold tighter. Oop. Okay.
Well, that was pretty easy.
So if you keep the glue thin enough, not glumpy, it should dry pretty quickly.
Good deal.
Just kind of press it down a little bit.
Oh, I like
All
that.
right. So in real life, I went ahead and got stuff prepared in advance, but in real life, while you're making this, you can set this aside to dry while you're getting your wax paper circle. So let's pretend this is a sheet of wax paper,
Okay, perfect.
and you want to get your circle on here. Let's see if I can put your item that you're going to use, and just trace it. It's just a simple trace around,
And then cut out the circle.
and then you'll cut out the circle.
Okay, perfect.
Right. Which, voila, is what we have here.
Ooh.
All right, so let's get the decks cleaned off a little bit here.
I can take some of this from you.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Okay. So, all right. Are you ready to roll here, Mr.?
Yeah, it looks like it's
Mr.
pretty dry
Wern?
already.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Oh, I don't know if we told you we need rubber bands.
Oh yeah, we need rubber bands.
Rubber
So
bands.
sorry.
And if you could get a little bit bigger sized rubber bands,
Mhm.
it's a lot easier, because otherwise 2 small ones will crush the toilet paper roll.
Oh, okay.
So you just want to kind of
Put it down around the side.
right.
And then do you want me to do the rubber bands, Miss Barb? Have you got it?
Well, I think I can get it.
Oh, perfect.
So that went around twice, and then you can see it's kind of wrinkled up there. So just gently pull down on the. Oh, oops, never
Do you want
mind.
me to get it? Yeah, so you just want to make sure that you take the toilet paper roll and make sure that this is taut or tight.
Kind of like tucking in your shirt.
Yeah. So that way when you blow on it or like hum on it, the sound's able to reverberate. Oh, and then the very important thing that we need to do here is make a hole in it first.
That's right. Oh, I didn't really bring, here, let's use my tweezers.
Okay, so we're gonna use tweezers for this, but this is very important that you find an adult or somebody who is okay to use sharp objects. You're just gonna want to make like a little hole that goes all the way through.
In the center of the tube.
Right. And so we just took these tweezers and I'm just like carving out the hole. It doesn't need to look super pretty and it doesn't need to be too big either. But that way some air can escape and you're actually able to use the kazoo and it makes the desired sound. Right.
Exactly.
Okay. See, there you go. We just got a little bit of a hole there. Perfect.
All right. Now it just comes where your creativity comes in.
Ooh.
But you just want to decorate it up. You can use markers if you like, or if you have stickers. Those are always great fun. Here, Miss Cali, let's see if we can share these.
Okay. Hey.
Put them on.
Thank you. Oh, I got some green ones. Those are my favorite colors today. And then purple, your favorite colors.
Purple, my favorite.
Okay,
color.
I'll just hold this and we'll just put the stickers on.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can put lots of different stuff on here. We saw some people that were coloring it like fruit.
Yep.
That was pretty cool.
They actually painted the roll.
Oh yeah.
Instead of using the paper.
So you can do that as well. You can paint it instead of using the paper. But we decided to use paper today because it takes a little less time to put on.
Okay. You see a place where we could use another one?
Let's put one right there.
Okay.
Where'd it go? Oh, it's on your finger still.
Oh, there it is.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, we got some sequins as well, but they might not be as easy to do
Yeah, so we'll just do a couple of those.
and I'm using tweezers because my fingers are too big to pick these up, if I can even use the tweezers to pick them up.
Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Oh man, Kelly.
Do you want me to do it?
Oh my gosh.
Sometimes you just need some help from someone else. But okay, so you put the little glue on. So I'm having a hard time too. You put the glue on and then you take your sequins. This is sequins. I can't get the sequins on the thing.
Well, let's bag the sequins.
Oh, okay, hold on, watch this.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
There. You just,
Sequins.
Kelly just used her finger.
I just used my finger because I'm a magic crafts person.
And let's just do one more for kicks and giggles. And then
Kicks and giggles.
we'll call it good.
Okay. There we go.
So that's pretty much it.
Well, why don't we play a little kazoo duet together? Let's try it out. So we don't know what it sounds like yet. Are you ready?
Yep.
Okay. This is great fun. Thank you for showing us how to make this kazoo.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, it's great. It's fun. You know, gather up a whole bunch of toilet paper rolls and make them all for your whole family.
Oh
and
yeah.
have a concert, or all the neighbor kids make a concert.
It'll be a great time. And you look at this. You made it out of trash. You made it out of something that you might have thrown away otherwise.
Exactly.
So it works out very well.
Recycle.
Yeah.
When you can.
Recycle when you can. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Miss Barb.
You're welcome.
I can't wait to see you next time. See what else we're going to be making.
Ooh, next month craft corner.
Yes.
Wasn't that a wonderful craft? I don't think that we've ever made something that we can actually use to make music before. I think that Miss Barb is very smart for coming up with something like that. I love making new things out of old things. That's why I really want to share with you one of my favorite books of all time. Joseph Had a Little Overcoat. Now, this is a story about someone who takes something, an old garment, some clothes that they have, and makes it into something new.
new, and then new, and then over and over again. And it's very fun. I will show you exactly another reason why I like this book. Let's just get into it. It's called Joseph Had a Little Overcoat, and it's by Sims to Back. Here we go. There's Joseph. He has his overcoat. There's a bunch of patches in it. He's got some friends, a chicken, and he works on a farm. And so he got some scissors. Here we go. Joseph had a little overcoat. Joseph had a little overcoat. It was old and worn. So here we go. There's Joseph. Okay, so you got the overcoat, old and worn, and he's leading the goose around. Okay, and see you got these turkeys here. Let's see what happens next. Whoop. Oh, oh. Hello. Do you see that hole? Do you see the hole in the page? Well, every single one of the parts of this book have a hole in the page, so make sure you're looking out for that. So we have the turkeys here, the hole, and then, so he had an overcoat that was old and worn, so he made a jacket out of it and went to the fair. Look at that. So that hole just turned his old overcoat into a jacket. And yeah, that babushka is wearing a shawl with some turkey feathers on it. Very cool. There we go. So they're all going to the fair together. Okay, let's see what happens next. Joseph had a little jacket. It got old and worn. Oh dear. So there he is. He's doing some vegetable farming. The cow, and then, oh, ooh. So, he made a vest out of it. And danced at his nephew's wedding. Look at that. Having a wedding. That is some great fun right there. Joseph had a little vest. It got old and worn. There's his old and worn vest. What else is going on in this picture? Oh, he has a poster of Tevye the milkman. Very interesting story. And here's a little plaque here. It says, "When the colt is old, only the holes are new." Very some sage advice there. And then, oh look, so he also has some neighbors that are just looking in his window. I don't suggest you look in other people's windows, but in this case, oh, there's the hole in the window, and so he made a scarf out of it and sang in the men's chorus. Oh, so the neighbors became people on the men's chorus. Here, I'll get up here. And then the hole made his vest into a scarf. Very cool. I love singing in the chorus. Good time. Good time. Joseph had a little scarf. It got old and worn. Oh, geez. Things just wear and tear, don't they? So he's doing, oh, it's fall, so scarves are very important. And he's outside, and here is the hole here, and it flips over. Whoop. So he made a necktie out of it. Ooh, a necktie. And went to visit his married sister in the city. There he is, so holes are getting smaller and smaller. Less and less you can make out of stuff. Oh, but there's his married sister, and there's a lot of people in the city. There's a little newspaper down here. It says, "Fiddler on roof falls off roof." Ooh, that doesn't sound like a very good time. Joseph had a little necktie. It got old and worn. There he is, showing it off to the horse. He's like, "Do you see my necktie?" It's old and worn. The goose is even very interested in this. Oh, and look at this. There's a little fiddler. It's on the roof. I thought we learned about the fiddler on the roof falling off the roof, but I guess not. Anyway, so he made a handkerchief out of it. Woof! And drank a glass of hot tea with lemon. I love hot tea with lemon. There's that little hole. Where was the hole before? Oh, the hole was in the horse. Now the hole into a necktie. There we go. Having a fun time drinking some tea. Very cozy time. Joseph had a little handkerchief and got old and worn. Oof. Oof. Look at that. He's sick in bed. It's not fun to be sick in bed, I'll tell you what. Here he is, so he's using the handkerchief probably from the sneezing. On account of all the sneezing, it's getting some old and worn. He's got some posters up here, some fun things. This one says, if a pauper eats a chicken, one of them is sick. I don't know what that means. Something to think about. Anyways, so he has the handkerchief, it's old and worn. Oh, I see a tiny little hole there. Do you see that? In the bed. And it turns into, what do you think it's gonna turn into? So he made a button out of it and used it to fasten his suspenders. There we go. He made a little button and all the townspeople are looking at him as he's making his button. It's a very interesting button. Yes, yes. Oh, this note says, Dear Joseph, please remember that a house with no windows is no house, and a garment without buttons is no coat. So buttons are important, I suppose. Joseph had a little button. One day he lost it. Oh no. Well, how are you supposed to, if you don't have the button, what's he supposed to make out of it? Well, you can't find the button anywhere, it doesn't look like. What do you think he's gonna do next? Let's find out. Oh, now he had nothing. What are you supposed to make out of nothing? That's really sad. On the poster in the top says, what one has, one doesn't want, and what one wants, one doesn't have. Very true, especially for this situation. Well, so, Joseph made a book about it, which shows you can always make something out of nothing. Huh. There he is. So he just made a book about his experience in turning his little overcoat into a jacket, and then to a vest, and then to a scarf, and then to a necktie, and then to a button, and then to nothing, and then to a book. And all of his animals are inside. But you know, you can always make something out of nothing. And there we go. That is the end. Wasn't that a wonderful story? I love the story of Joseph Had a Little Overcoat. It's a wonderful way of showing how you can take old things that you might think of just throwing out and turning them into something new. That's why I made this dress out of plastic bags. I wasn't going to use those anymore, but instead I decided to make a cool costume with it. Just make sure that you're being safe when you're using plastic bags. Anyways, this song that I'm about to sing is called I Had a Little Overcoat, and it sounds pretty much just like the story we just read, but it's a fun thing to do with a story about an overcoat, so why don't you join along with me? Here we go. I had a little overcoat, much too old to sew. La 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 la. Whatever could I do with it? I just didn't know. La 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 la. So I thought what I could do and made myself a jacket that was almost new. La 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 la. Made myself a jacket that was almost new. What's next? I had a little jacket, much too old to sew. La 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 la. Whatever could I do with it? I just didn't know. La 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 la. So I thought what I could do and made myself a vest that was almost new. La 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 la. Made myself a vest that was almost new. I had a little vest, much too old to sew. La 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 la. Whatever could I do with it? I just didn't know. La 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 la. So I thought what I could do and made myself a tie that was almost new. La 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 la. Made myself a tie that was almost new. It's getting smaller. I had a little tie, much too old to sew. La 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 la. Whatever could I do with it? I just didn't know. La 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 la. So I thought what I could do and made myself a button that was almost new. La 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 la. Made myself a button that was almost new. I had a little button, wherever did it go? La 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 la. What could I do with nothing? I just didn't know. La 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 la. So I thought what I could do and sang myself this song, and I sing this song to you. La 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 la. Sing myself this song, and I sing this song to you. Thank you so much for joining us for reading time today. I had a wonderful time learning about trash and recycling and how much we love trash and how many things you can make out of trash. I really like trash. Anyways, I hope that you'll join us next time. Our reading time buddies are going to be sharing more things for the holidays next month. Make sure that you're staying safe when you're going outside, being healthy and things like that. I love you very much. I hope that you're able to have fun with that craft that we showed you today. If you have made that craft, make sure that you share it with us. You can tag us at Reading Time with the Queens on Instagram and Facebook, stuff like that. Or you can just use the hashtag Reading Time with the Queens, whatever you want. We love to see when you are doing the craft with us or even just watching Reading Time. Have a wonderful rest of your month, and I love you very much. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Go find some trash. Turn it into a ukulele or whatever. A ukulele.